Yo, hey, what's up, guys? Adam McDaniel, Mike Ritchie here with JeepRecyclers.com. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. We wanted to shoot a quick video just giving you a heads up on a new product that we're offering on the website. Now, everybody's aware of the gauge clusters, or the reconditioned gauge clusters that we currently offer. We're very proud of them and very grateful for your support for picking them up from us here. The overlays are something that we have not offered up until this point. Now, these overlays are for your 1973 to 1984 full-size Jeep. All right, that would cover the Cherokee, Wagoneer, and J Series truck. Okay. Now, the reason why we didn't offer these up until this point is because we wanted to shoot a video as far as how to put them on. This may sound funny. They are relatively intuitive, and it is a peel and stick sticker. However, it's not quite that way. There's a lot of steps that go into prepping the surface of your cluster to ensure that these things go on, and your initial investment of purchasing this overlay is not wasted by having it come off later on, having it bend in the application of putting it on, etc. So we are, let's see, like I said, now offering these two overlays, the wood grain as well as the machine metal turned overlays here. And Mike, our painter, is actually going to follow me up on this video and just go into detail with regard to how to put them on. So once again, thanks for checking us out, and I appreciate your support. All right, guys, have a wonderful day.
Hey guys, Mike Ritchie with JeepRecyclers.com. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install your overlay on your gauge cluster. Getting into it here, we have some basic hand tools you're going to need for the job. Standard heat gun, snap-on file set, some 80 grit sandpaper, and some 3M paint prep to clean the surface. We recommend using 3M paint prep because it will not mar your finish. It's important to note that the overlays are thin aluminum, so you want to be careful with how you handle them. Your cluster housing has been subjected to some stress and some heat over the years. I actually made a jig to straighten these out and to take out as much warpage as possible on our end. Your cluster may not be that perfect. So we're gonna have to do some dry runs and see where we need to modify the overlay so that it fits your particular cluster. All right, so we have our reconditioned cluster and our CNC cut overlay. Now, with the backing still on it, we're gonna do some dry runs here. Let's say we're simplify the process, but essentially you just lay it on. And you're gonna wanna go around and see where it's making contact with the cluster itself. It's very important to give yourself more room whenever you're doing your filing and your sanding, because once you take that adhesive backing off the overlay, you have pretty much one shot to stick it. So it's always better to give yourself a little bit more wiggle room, a little bit more margin of error. That way you can ensure that you stick it on the first time. So going around here, a lot of the time, the turn signal indicators are a big area that you're going to need to make some modification. I love this snap-on triangle file. It's perfect for getting into those arrows and making the points match up pretty much perfect. Also, another spot that they rub a lot is up in the corners here and across the top. So that's where your 80 grit sandpaper is going to come into play. So take your overlay off, sand that area, make sure you have adequate room around those edges so that whenever you go to reapply it without the backing on it, you can stick it on in one shot. Now, once you get your filing and your sanding done and any necessary modifications, we're going to want to go through and clean everything. So we'll take the overlay back off after we do our test fitting. And we're going to take our 3M paint prep cleaner and we're going to put it onto a lint-free paper towel. So you're going to want to go around and clean all the flat surfaces where this overlay is going to make contact. Now on the back here, there is 3M adhesive on here. So whenever you peel this backer off, it's very important not to touch the adhesive on the back of the overlay. Anywhere you touch it, you're going to leave the oils from your hands, and it's not going to adhere properly. So once you have all your surfaces prepped, cleaned, I'd actually really recommend wearing rubber gloves. That way you can ensure that you don't contaminate any surface with the oils from your hands. So the next step would be to take your heat gun and warm up both surfaces. You're going to have to warm up the housing itself along with the overlay. Now this heat, it makes the adhesive super tacky, and it ensures a good seal to your cluster. Now, in that token, you don't want to heat it up to the point where you're blistering your paint or melting your overlay or distorting it or warping it in any way. So once you get those warm, you have a very short amount of time before they cool down. And this is where having that little additional room in the overlay helps out tremendously, because you get one chance to stick this on. So once it's good and warm, you apply it, and you kind of want to start at one end, make sure everything lines up properly, and then kind of roll it to the other end. And don't press down on it super hard, because this still gives you the opportunity to move it and position it where you need to. Once it's on and everything seems like it's good, that's when you can go through and use your lint-free towel, and you can press on the surface of it and just kind of work around the overlay here, making sure that all the little edges and everything adhere to the cluster itself. Now, if you do have some areas where it's not quite sticking properly, you can take your heat gun again, warm it up gently, and then using your paper towel, rub that area until it adheres. Once you have everything good and secure and stuck to the housing, as it's cooling, just kind of keep an eye on it, make sure that nothing's lifting, or the overlay's trying to peel back from your surface. If it does, you can use the same process, heat it back up, and stick it back down. As long as your surface is good and clean, you shouldn't have any issues with it adhering properly. I hope that helped you guys out. Again, Mike Ritchie with JeepRecyclers.com. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.